The Adventure Week event is starting around the world in Pokemon Go, and as always, I want you guys up to speed for this event, so without further ado, let's get into it. So this event is going to be August 2nd, 10 a.m. to August 12th, 11:59 p.m. at your local time. Bonuses during the event will have 2 times XP for spinning Pokestops, so you'll get 100 XP per spin, 5 times XP for spinning a Pokestop for the first time, so you'll get 1,250 XP per spin, 2 times Hatch XP, and you'll have higher shiny odds on the Pokemon Cranidos, Shieldon, Tirtuga, Archon, Tyrant, and Amora. I'm not sure if that's going to be a 1 in 64 or a 1 in 128 shiny odds, so I'll try to add that in the pinned comments below once we have more information and the event started. There'll of course be Pokestop showcases for event-themed Pokemon, and those event-themed Pokemon will include the wild spawns Diglett, Omanyte, Kabuto, Dunsparce, Roggenrola, Drillbur, Bunnelby, and rare spawns for Aerodactyl. There'll also be exclusive 7km eggs, the ones you can get from opening gifts, that can get you hatches with Cranidos, Shieldon, Tirtuga, Archon, Tyrant, and Amora. Do note you need to get new 7km eggs to hatch these Pokemon, your old ones won't just instantly convert over. Now we also have some exclusive research going down during the event. Starting with the field research task, we have the task catch 10 rock types for a Dunsparce or a Roggenrola, hatch an egg for a Cranidos, Tirtuga, or an Archon, spin 10 Pokestops or gyms for a Drillbur or a Bunnelby, walk 2 kilometers for a Shieldon, a Tyrant, or an Amora, and evolve a Pokemon for a Lileep, an Anorith, or 10 Mega Aerodactyl energy. There's also a $2 timed research you can go ahead and buy. The tasks are going to be on screen. Is it really worth $2? I'm not 100% sure. I guess you do get some incubators from it, but you do have to hatch a decent amount of eggs, walk 4 kilometers. You can pretty easily skip this research. Finally, there's collection challenges. There's 2 of them on screen right now. Very simple to go ahead and complete. You get some Mega Aerodactyl energy, which is not bad at all, and some cool shiny checks. With the event details away, let's get right into the tips, starting with, as always, what are the best spawns, which one should you really be catching, and the most meta relevant. First of all, Dunsparce is in there, which Dunsparce does see some play in the Great League sometimes. We have Roggenrola in there, which could evolve all the way up into Gigalith, which is a decent rock type raid attacker. Drillbur's in there, which evolves into Excadrill. Excadrill is a top ground type raid attacker and a Pokemon that does see play in the Master League. Bunnelby's in there, which evolves into Diggersby. Diggersby, of course, does see play in the Great League. And Aerodactyl is in there, which Aerodactyl does have a mega form in the game right now. One of the best rock type raid attackers, so if you need a good IV, those Aerodactyls are there. So yeah, that's it for the meta relevant spawns. Not as good as last year in my opinion. But we do have the exclusive 7km eggs, hatching Cranidos, Shieldon, Tirtuga, Archon, Tyrant, and Amora, all of the fossil Pokemon, which granted all of these were in the wild last year, so it kind of sucks they're in eggs. Nonetheless, are these 7km eggs really going to be worth going after? And in my opinion, I'm going to say no. Although they all have shiny boosts, all these Pokemon are available from the research tasks, and also these Pokemon are available pretty commonly in events. We've seen Tyrant and Amora spawning at every Go Fest or a lot of different events, and same with all the other ones. However, if you do decide to go after the 7km eggs because you want to try to get the shinies of any of these that you're missing, the meta relevant ones to hatch and power up will be, of course, Cranidos, which evolves into Rampardos, the #1 rock type raid attacker, or one of the best rock type raid attackers in the game. Shieldon, which evolves into Bastiodon, an amazing Great League Pokemon, and Amora, which evolves into Aurorish, which does see play in the Great League and Ultra League and limited cups in those leagues as well. The rest are all just cool shinies to get. The fossil shinies are cool, and if you have them, they're cool, but they're not the most rare, and it's not like you're getting the most insane trade bait from hatching these eggs. Now, in my opinion, though, the best thing to do during this event is actually going to be grind XP in a new city. Reason being, we have that 5 times XP for spinning a new Pokestop. Now, if you do all the math and you add up how much XP you're getting from spinning 1 new Pokestop during this event, that's going to be 1,350. And if you throw in a lucky egg, that's 2,700 XP from spinning 1 new Pokestop. Now, you can tell if it's a new Pokestop by the halo around it. That means you've never spun it before. So if you visit a new city, you see a bunch of Pokestops with halos, throw in a lucky egg, just go grind during that 30 minutes of the lucky egg and spin as many stops as you can. 4 Pokestops, 10,000 XP, pretty easy. Spinning a Pokestop takes 2 seconds. If you put on a Go Plus Plus or some sort of auto catcher, you can go ahead and even spin them without actually having to touch them. So go ahead and do that. It's not a bad idea at all. A great way to grind XP. But another thing you can grind during this event, of course, is candy for some of those meta relevant wild spawns we talked about. So let's go through the best candy tips. Number 1, use pineapple berries or silver pineapple berries on any of those wild spawns like a Drillbur. Regular pineapple berries will multiply your catch candy by 2, and silver's by 2.34. Drillbur candy is very, very useful, so use those pineapples. You can also go ahead and use Palkia's Spatial Rend ability. Palkia's Spatial Rend Adventure Effect costs Palkia candies and Stardust, but if you use it, you'll double the spawn distance you can see, allowing you to see more Pokemon, catch more Pokemon, be more efficient, and of course, grind more candy. You can also go ahead and Mega Evolve a Pokemon. If you don't know when you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, any Pokemon you catch that shares a type with the Mega, you get more candy, XP, and XL candy for catching Pokemon of that type. Take a look at all the spawns we have during this event. The 2 main types are going to be ground and rock type spawns. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a Mega that can hit both of those types, so it's going to depend on which one you want more. But personally, I would go with something like a ground type Mega, like a Mega Garchomp, a Mega Swampert, a Primal Groudon, because that'll get you more candies for specifically the Drillbur, which is probably the best spawn during this event. However, if you prefer to go with a rock type Mega to get more candies for things like Roggenrola, Kabuto, Omanyte, Mega Aerodactyl, or Mega Tyranitar will do just fine. The rock type Mega will of course be very useful in taking down Moltres as well, which is bonuses in raids this week. You can also go ahead and trade Pokemon. If you don't know, when you trade away Pokemon, you're gonna get 1 regular candy, but if the distance seen where those 2 Pokemon were caught is over 100 kilometers, you're gonna be guaranteed an XL candy and you get 2 regular candies. So if you catch or hatch any of these Pokemon that are mail relevant, like Cranidos, Drillbur, all that stuff, hold on to them, save them, and then trade them over distance with someone who might have recently went on a trip and has a bunch of distance Pokemon. The cool thing is the 7-kilometer eggs, if you actually get them from distance friends, are already considered distance Pokemon because they're originally from where your friend is. So if you hatch a Cranidos and that egg was gotten from Paris, you can go ahead and trade it for a guaranteed XL candy. Finally, go ahead and transfer Pokemon. Specifically on August 20th from 6 to 7 p.m. is Mankey Spotlight Hour with a bonus of 2 times transfer candy. Save the meta relevant Pokemon, save the Cranidoses, save the Shieldon, save the Drillburs. He'll then transfer them then for more candies. Finally, let's talk about Platinum Medal tips. You need 35 Platinum Medals, go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. Which ones should we be working on during this event? First of all, let's talk about the type medals, things like the Ruin Maniac medal, catch 2,500 ground types. That's one you can go ahead and work on. Same with the Hiker medal, catch 2,500 rock type Pokemon. Just catch them, easy medals to work on. Let's talk about the Scientist medal, evolve 2,000 Pokemon. Now, if you don't know, Roggenrola is a Pokemon which you can of course evolve into Baldor for, I believe it's 50 candies or 25, one of the two. But then if you actually receive that Roggenrola or Baldor from a trade, it's actually going to be free to evolve into Gigalith. So the best strategy during this event is you and your friend catch a bunch of Roggenrolas, go ahead and trade them over. And once you have all those traded Roggenrolas, you can go ahead and evolve them twice. Once, of course, for 50 candies, and then the second time you go ahead and evolve it for completely free. Obviously, it's 25 candies per, but allows you to get a bunch of Gigaliths, a bunch of potentially lucky Gigaliths, and of course, work on this medal. The Sightseer medal, spin 2,000 unique Pokestops. Of course, I recommend during this event, go to a new city, spin those new stops. This is a medal you'll be working on as well at the same time that you do that XP grinding method. And the final one I mentioned here, of course, as always, the Showcase Star medal. We do have exclusive showcases during the event. Try your best to win them. Always drop into the showcases, not in the busy areas, because there's going to be less people dropping in, less competition, higher chance, of course, you win. And then you can go ahead and work on getting this encounter here, which is, of course, the PhD Pikachu. Super rare Pikachu. Let me know if you have it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, watch the one below. By the way, there is a Team Go Rocket event starting about halfway through this event. I'm gonna have a separate tips video about that, so stay tuned for that. But for now, enjoy this adventure week. Granted, I don't think it's as good as last year's in my opinion, but still cool. Get some fossils and follow for more tips. Peace.